Hello and welcome to this Hyojeong Peace Festival of Central Asia. It's an inspiration of our true parents, Father and Mother Moon, especially true Mother, Dr. Hak Moon, who has been teaching us the meaning of Hyojeong. One way to think of Hyojeong is imagine that there is a creator, a heavenly parent who creates the entire universe, this entire world, and creates us, humanity, as the Creator's children, and gives us all these things to enjoy and create our own beautiful living environment. The question of Hyojeong then becomes, if you're given this gift of life, if you're given this gift of creation and the ability to discover all of its mysteries, what would you say in return? What would you offer in return to our Heavenly Parent and to heaven? So the purpose of these peace festivals is to celebrate that theme, and especially to take pride and joy in the beauty that exists in all of the various cultures of the world. And this time we're celebrating Central Asia. But with everything going on in the world right now, we can't ignore. We have to really reflect on the fact that we are entering in the final stage of humanity. We are already in the final stage of history. And a new history is being written. So what is the origin point of this new history? I think many might agree that we're entering into a new era. Surely we must be exiting an old era. So what is the origin point of the new era? What is the origin point of this new history? We must understand it, and we must have the confidence to declare it. But what is it that we should declare? What is it that we stand for? That is the question. Whatever it is that we stand for, it must have absolute value for all of humanity. It cannot be based on something that only benefits some people. Our value needs to be universal. The theme of this Peace Festival is creating peace through the cultural legacy of Central Asia. Now, Central Asia has a rich and multicultural history, right? Sharing ideas and building relationships that have supported one another throughout that history. It is a people that have great respect for their elders and follow their wisdom of the elders. There's a great sense of hospitality and willingness to sacrifice in Central Asia. There are certain traditions that stand the test of time because they are universal, somehow linked to an ancient wisdom. However, when we look at the world today, we can see that we do not yet have a complete picture of a peaceful humanity. Why? Because we fight over who has the right idea, the right values. So who should we follow? But the thing is, universal values cannot be designed by mankind. They are designed by our Creator. Common currency or common political systems can bring about relative peace. But if we want everlasting results, then we need to unite upon everlasting values. It is not enough also just to have a common enemy. It is not enough to have a common political view because opinions can change according to selfish benefit. Instead, we must realize that first, we have a common parent, which is our Creator. And our parent has a certain idea, a certain will, and a blessing for us to discover. If we are ignorant about our Creator, then we are ignorant about ourselves. If we are ignorant about our own true value and purpose, then how can we know and respect the value of others? If we don't understand why we exist, then how can we possibly know what to do with our existence? I'd like to read a few quotes that were recently given by our True Mother, just a few weeks ago. True Mother said, "Until now, people were ignorant of the fact that all of us, all nations, are connected to heaven by heavenly law. And as a result, this beautiful earth has become derelict." Until now, people were ignorant of the fact that all of us and all nations are connected to heaven by a heavenly law. And as a result of that ignorance, this beautiful earth has become derelict. Here's another one. As children who have been unfilial until now, that means children of heaven who have ignored heaven's will, who have ignored essentially heaven's blessing. Until now, it is our duty to make our heavenly parents' dream come true on earth. Again, this theme that there is a heaven and there is a parent of heaven, there is a will of heaven, there is a dream that our heavenly parent has. If we ignore our heavenly parent, and if we ignore the dream that our heavenly parent blessed us with, we ignore the very purpose for our existence, then how can we possibly be happy? This idea of Hyojeong means that we should be people who make our heavenly parents' dream come true. There's nothing more honorable or joyous than that. Mother continues, "It is our duty to make our heavenly dream come true on earth. If so, should we just then sit back and watch? Should we just sit back and watch to see what we make of the world with our stupidity, with our ignorance, with our selfish pride?" All of us, Mother says, all of us, all people of the world, need to become one and fulfill our responsibility, which is to return this world to its original state. That is what we, the people living in this world today, are required to do. Stand up, people. This is what our heavenly parent and our true parents are calling us to do. You wish to argue it? Do you disbelieve it? Do you think these are the words of someone who has an ulterior motive? Or do you think that just maybe these are the words that are tapping into the most ancient wisdom of all? That we, humanity, are a people created by heaven, by our heavenly parent, for a heavenly purpose. And it is not the general purpose that you see being lived today. Mother says, we need to become children that attend heavenly parent through true parents. For we are connected to the heavenly parent by heavenly law. Brothers and sisters, and all peace lovers, peacemakers who are participating in this Hyojeong Peace Festival. Really, I want to thank you for participating in this. Whether you're watching right now live or whether you're watching a recording, please listen to these words that Mother shares. Father and Mother Moon have been bringing people together for decades to proclaim this new era, this new history, and I believe them. I believe them. Look at it. The war upon Ukraine is teaching us many things. I see many people asking deep questions, deeper questions. But it should not take a war to remind us of our deeper common sense. It should not take a war anymore to remind us to reflect on what is heaven. Is there heaven? And what is the will of heaven? And look what men do. How we strut around to show how powerful we are, how smart we are. But what horrible things we can do to one another. What horrendous things we can think and do upon one another. It is absolutely unacceptable and horrifying to see what is happening now with the assault upon Ukraine, upon the sovereignty of Ukraine, but upon the people of Ukraine. These two are our brothers and sisters, God's children. They were created by God, they were lives given by God, and it is no man or no woman's choice or freedom to take those lives that were created by God. And ultimately, there can be no winning that we find there. There's no winning to be found there. For even if we save one brother, but lose the other brother, we still destroy our family. Even though it must be done, even though we must protect ourselves, when the righteous men and women stand up to defend their sovereignty, in order to do that, they must shoot other young men to protect themselves. So what is the result? We spill the blood of our worldwide family, and those lives can never be recovered. Whether Ukrainian lives or Russian lives, whether black lives or white lives, whether Western lives or Eastern lives, whether they are people who have a certain political view versus other people who have a different political view, it is our worldwide family that is spilling its blood into this earth that was given us to experience joy and peace together. So what happens? Our mothers are eternally crying for their sons and daughters who are lost. And our children lose their childhoods. And the negative impact of these actions are not just part of a 24-hour news cycle. They are not just the next thing that is happening. They have negative ramifications for generations to come. That is why we are living in the type of world we are living in today. And it is not just in Eastern Europe. There is conflict and abuse going on in every corner of the world. Simply put, humanity has gotten as far as it can. We cannot advance any further towards a peaceful world or a peaceful humanity if we ignore the creator of this world and the parent of humanity. I believe that the people of Central Asia can be proud of the ancient wisdom that was learned throughout their great history. But you must also now reflect and realize that a new history is being written. It is the same for us all. In order to realize everlasting peace, we must now surrender. We must surrender our beliefs, our attitudes, our strongly held concepts. We must surrender them upon the altar of true everlasting values. If we want everlasting peace, then surely we must be guided by everlasting values, not temporary values or man-made values that only benefit a certain people of a certain race or a certain period, but we must base our values on eternal values that we did not create, but were created by the same Creator that created us. Values that were designed by heaven. This is the origin point of the new human history. It is scary and exciting at the same time, dear peace lovers. But like True Mother said, this is the point. We need to become children that attend Heavenly Parent through true parents, for we are connected that way. We are connected that way, not by our own ideas, but by heavenly ideas. Not by our own values, but by heavenly values. Not by our own laws, no matter how great they may seem to be. We are connected by heavenly law to our heavenly parent. So, if you believe it, then declare it. Let us have the confidence to declare this truth at this time in human history. For if not you, then who? And if not now, then when, dear peace lovers? If you truly are a person that seeks for peace for all of humanity, then we must stand up, not only for those who are being tortured now, but we must stand up first for our Heavenly Parent, who has been tortured throughout human history, watching us make a mockery of this beautiful creation that we've been given. Brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, all of you, let us have the confidence to declare the truth. For if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? May heaven's blessings be upon you, your families, and upon all the brothers and sisters in the world who are suffering. And let heaven also guide the minds of those who make great mistakes today. Let us clean up the internal mind of humanity, center our heart on heaven, declare the truth that a new history is being written, and it must be a history of peace. God bless you.